Hi, I'm Sid. I'm the CEO at GitLab. And this video is for the Ask Me Anything session on Tuesday, April 14th, 2020. In the presentation, I want to go through the presentation. It's linked from the calendar invite. First of all, I want to welcome Stella. Stella will be our Chief of Staff. So she is going to be responsible for the people that help with multifunctional projects. GitLab, we're functionally organized. If something needs to happen in sales will do it. If it happens in people ops will do it. Almost every big project is touching multiple parts of the organization, but most of the time it's one part of the organization has a majority of it. There are some things that really touch a lot of different parts of the organization, and normally those end up on my plate. I don't have the bandwidth for that, so Stella is going to help with that. And from now on, Emily Sherio, who's been helping out with the Chief of Staff role, will report to Stella. So really excited to have her on board, and she's already doing a wonderful job. One thing to note is we're in the middle of a pandemic, and at GitLab, we are family and friends first. We want to make sure that you take care of your family and your friends before you take care of work. And I don't think we're doing a super good job of that at GitLab today. I've actually seen that in engineering, most of our indicators are up at the moment. Could also be because we're reducing our hiring, that frees up some bandwidth, but it might also be that people have more time. They're quarantined, they can't go anywhere. They work more hours. That's not what we're expecting. And I would love for all our managers to have that conversation with their reports. Apart from that, we have a new travel policy. There's also an employee assistance program. So if you need any support dealing with stress, where your manager and the people, HR business partners are there for you. So I want to highlight our efficiency improvements project. That's the most important project going on at GitLab right now. 30 different initiatives to get more efficient. Right now, we've completed 10%. We've made progress on every single one of them. I'm super excited about that, and we want to complete as many as possible before May 18th. I want to highlight that the CEO Shadow program has some open spots. It's remote now. We encourage people that are close to the Pacific time zone to apply because it's less of a disruption for them to be on my meeting schedule. Also want to talk about why we are handbook first. Handbook first means that if you have a change, you document it first in the handbook, you change the handbook, and then you communicate that change. The opposite of handbook change first is saying, hey, this is what we're going to change. Communicate that to everyone. And when someone asks about the handbook, say, oh, we'll document it later. The handbook is not documentation. Documentation is something you do maybe sometimes after the fact. The handbook is our single source of truth. A process is only changed in the company if it's changed there. So you don't have to bother with making a slide about it or writing a long email about it. You can just change it in the handbook and link people to the diff where it's changed. That ensures the handbook is always up to date. That's the hardest thing. I've not seen an organization with our size of handbook that had it up to date, but we're doing a really good job. But it requires everyone to work handbook first. We also have a new OKR process. I'm excited because we're going to use GitLab epics and issues to do it, and we just have an amazing new feature called, I think, Epic Health or Issue Health, where you can see kind of how many things underneath the epic got done. And we're going to dog food that and use it. Emily's recorded a great video explaining that. I also want to highlight some OKRs that we're planning for next quarter. With revenue, we're going to focus on sales efficiency. So we're going to see how we can get to a sales efficiency or go-to-market efficiency, the cost of sales and marketing of higher than 1, which means that our sales and marketing costs are lower than the incremental ACV we get in. We also want to make marketing content more reusable. So make sure that we don't create the content for one event, but that we can change it at a place where we can keep reusing it. Also, product-wise, we want to focus on increasing stages per user. If a user uses one extra stage, our conversion to paid customer triples. It's a super big effect. We have 10 stages. Imagine like how many possibilities there are to convert someone. So we got to make sure that there's no roadblocks, for example, to go from version control to using CI. And then team-wise, I'm super excited about our competencies, but also the change in hiring. With our hiring slowdown, we can now reach out to people much more. We'll source, instead of 20%, we'll source 80%. That should be great to increase diversity and get to more efficient location factors. Please note that our selection on that is top of funnel, like who we reach out to. If people apply internally or somehow or are referred and get in the process that way, we should not discriminate between location factors or identity data. On the KPI page, there's a small but I think super fun change where every icon on that page, every graph and link icon links directly to Sisense, so you can very quickly go to the graph. Also want to highlight our biggest risk page. We just updated that with a risk of, as middle management grows, some problems you can see and 6 solutions that I'm thinking about. Also excited about the competencies page where instead of having 20 different initiatives to kind of train people and test people and certify people, we'll do that centrally in GitLab from now on. And then to conclude our Contribute Challenge, we're going to have a virtual Contribute this year due to the pandemic. In every Contribute, we have a challenge. It's an optional thing to participate in. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Most people don't participate, so feel free not to participate. But if you do want to kind of work on something else, consider this. This year, our challenge is going to be beautifying our documentation. We want our documentation to be Stripe beautiful, and we want it to be multi-format. So instead of just having kind of the technical, how can you use this feature, it should have everything. It should talk about why you want the feature in the first place. It should have a champion story of someone who used it and became successful in their organization because of it. I think in general, we should highlight not just the companies we make successful, but the individuals in the organization we make successful. And I'd love for many different functions to participate. Backend can maybe help update content or maybe automate updating screenshots here. Marketing can maybe help add video content to a number of pages. Brand design and UX can maybe help graphics and explanations. Front-end engineering can maybe help make them Stripe beautiful. Maybe support can help adding even more troubleshooting information. Finance can help calculating ROI. Sales can maybe help finding customers to highlight and finding champions to highlight, where marketing can help write those stories. Product can maybe help by making sure that every page in our doc says, why do you need to use this in the first place? Not just how you use it, but why you should use it. If we manage to get close to Stripe Beautiful, I will do some Tanuki puppeteering. And I got Karen to help me again, and I'm super looking forward. I hope you complete the challenge because it's going to be pretty ridiculous. Yeah, that was everything in the presentation, but it's an AMA, so ask me anything. I look forward to possibly seeing you on Tuesday if you work at GitLab. Thanks.